Okay, we're just about to kick off our webinar talking about CRMs. And if we get time, we will touch on, something like that. We might touch on some project management, workflow management platforms such as Clickup, which it also has some CRM capability. It's a bit of a hybrid thing. Having said that, the CRM we're going to have a look at today also has some task management capability, which is not atypical for this space where people are trying to get some. You've got a data set, you're talking with people, then why not just manage the workflow, I think is the thought process. But enough of that. Let's go. It's 11:01. That is indeed time enough for me. Now, what I'm going to do is, we've got some people hooked in already. I'm going to ask you to unmute your microphones if you wish, and we can make this nice and interactive, so you can fire up questions and we can actually try and add some value on the fly rather than me just sit here and, I don't know, lecture at you and point and shoot. Okay, a lot more fun if you all join in and we can get some more value out of it for everybody. At least that is my cunning plan. So welcome everybody. My name is Kelby. I will be your friendly host this morning for the next 55, 6, 7 odd minutes. As you can see, I'm from Business Station. We deliver the federal government's digital solutions package in WA, Northern Territory and Queensland. We've been doing that for a few years now. It's changed from the way it used to be. It's now a curated package of mentoring and webinars and workshops and training and face-to-face with a structure and a goal over 7 hours rather than the old just you've signed up, happy days, do what you want to do, you're on your own. We provide a ton of guidance and help, and we actually are very outcome orientated. So it's very much about you and what you want to achieve in your business. So if you haven't already signed up to the program, if you're just watching this as one of the free webinars which float around, well, you're very welcome. But please have a look at the program, sign up, and we can add some real value to your business and make some really cool stuff happen. But anyway, enough of the advertorials. We can now roll on with CRM. Okay, CRM and the rest of the alphabet. Okay, do you need one? My goodness, what's one anyway? And how do I work out which one I need? Now, for those of you who are wondering why I keep looking away from the camera, I've actually got a nice big setup here today. I've got the other screen off on my right, so camera on my left, and it's sort of, I'm trying to keep track of where I'm up to with things. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't get it too sideways, which has happened. So with CRMs, okay, do you need one? What is it anyway? And how do you put it in place? Now, CRM, in its simplest form, a CRM is a customer relationship management system. It enables you to have all of your contacts in one spot and to communicate with them and to track how they're reacting and interacting with those communications and to create campaigns around that. Some of the better ones will create landing pages for you so you can attract people in another way and feed them into your sales funnel. They'll also enable you to do cool stuff like put contact forms on your website so you can collect people's contact details and they can communicate with you by way of tickets with complaints and issues and inquiries. And again, you can track that process. Now, do you need one? Always a good question, right? We'll get to a typical CRM in 2 seconds, but before we do that, do you need one? A couple of quick questions for you, all right? And feel free to answer this as you see fit. Do you have customers that you would like to deal with more than once? Do you want to stay in touch with them? Do you want them to send you some referral business? Do you want them to be aware of what really cool things you're doing in your business next week? What's coming down the track that they may benefit from? If the answer to any of that is yes, you need a CRM. Your sales process, is it a staged sales process from contact to discovery and discussions, and then you close the deal or not, as the case may be? If the answer is yes, you need a CRM. It will help you track that process and keep on top of where all your deals are up to. Do you want to bring in more customers? Do you want to have an easy way to track the effectiveness of of email marketing, of your website calls to action? You need a CRM if that's where you're at. Okay, now the really cool thing is you can get some stuff for free. In fact, you can get some real powerful stuff for free. You can, of course, pay a ton of money, depending on where you're at, what you want to do. But for where we're at, if you're in that sort of micro to small business end of the scale, the free ones will do an awful lot for you before you've got to do anything vaguely interesting, like spend money. So let's have a look at a typical CRM. Let's find it. I've got it hiding here somewhere on my computer. Oh, hang on a second. Where did it go? That's why it was hiding. Okay, 2 secs. The one I want is there. Let's have a look. And there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. What we're looking at today is HubSpot. Now, there's a couple of reasons that I picked HubSpot. It wasn't totally random. You can get versions of Capsule for free. You can get versions of Keap for free. You can clearly get a version of HubSpot for free because it's got free written all the way across the top there. Agile, there's a ton of them that will do a small cut down version for free or a feature or a less featured version for free. Now, the reason that we're looking at HubSpot today is that as far as free versions get, you get an awful lot here, an awful lot for nothing. And secondly, this is my personal version of HubSpot. As you can see, company name in the top right corner there. And there's some data in here and there's some actual email results in here. So I can show you some live. This is what it really does stuff rather than a demo version, which doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. Okay. Having said that, I don't think they actually run a demo version. But anywho, when you set up a HubSpot account, which is quite easy, just go to hubspot.com, put in your email address and bang, you set up a free account. And this is where you come in. You get Marketing Hub, you get Sales Hub, you get Service Hub, you get Operations Hub for free. Now, the first thing you do obviously is put your contacts in there so that you've got a starting point. And the contact process, very simple. Okay, and again, this is typical, right? There's nothing here that is groundbreaking in terms of nobody else does it. All right, this simply is very typical. Okay, just drop in your file. Like if you've got your contacts in an Excel spreadsheet, which I actually did a session this morning with one of my colleagues teaching her how to use HubSpot, and that's what she uses. And that's fine. Drop the spreadsheet in there. HubSpot will import them. Not a problem. It also will sync data from other apps for you, nice and easy. So that actual setup process will take you approximately 2 minutes. All right. It is very straightforward. Okay. Now, other side, a tracking code. Now let's just talk about this. If you're familiar with the Facebook pixel at all, which basically tracks people as they go through your Facebook page and you can follow them around the web. The tracking code operates on a very similar mindset where you can have a little bit of code. There we go. And that would be it right there, which you pop into your website before the end of the body tag on any page and have a form sitting there so people can actually punch their contact details straight into your contact list. Okay. And again, you or your web designers can put that in very simply. And they have instructions so you can do it yourself for a lot of the popular DIY websites. Okay. One thing you'll find with HubSpot is that, or they've got a separate setup with WordPress. One thing you'll find with HubSpot is that it's dead easy to use and there's a ton of help. Okay. Some people find it a little clunky. That's okay if that's their experience, but it is simple, a lot of help, especially with setting up, because they don't want you to ring them every 5 minutes with a problem. So they give you a comprehensive knowledge hub. And you can also create forms that will go to pick up lead information on your website, which feeds into your tracking code. Okay. Again, you don't need to be a coder. It's nice and easy to use. Happy days. Okay. So Sales Hub helps you set up, again, they want contacts. Now you can set up, you can actually have a lot of customization with the contacts as you would expect. Okay, you want them to display the information that you have, not necessarily a default view. You can then filter them. So you can set up lists and you can set up your deal stages. Now, I'll show you one thing for a second. We go to sales. All right, we're going to jump ahead here a little bit. We go to deals, which is what we're just talking about. What you get is something that looks like this. It's like a Kanban board, okay, where you can simply track deals from when you've actually set up the initial contact through to either winning or losing the deal at the end of the day. This is the thing I want to show you, is that they actually have an article in here, which is nice and easy to read, no big words, nothing super technical, but they teach you how to set up your deal process. You don't have to guess with anything, okay? And you'll be unsurprised to know that the other CRMs are pretty much all the same, okay? So if you're looking at setting up a system that helps you deal with your customers and stay in touch with your customers and see where they're up to in relation to their interactions with you, you won't go wrong with either Capsule, Hubspot, Keap, the three that I see the most of, especially with their free versions. They're all very simple to use, okay? Now, as I said, that's the nice cool article that runs through very easily how to set up this sales process, okay? So heading back to where we were, and we're over with Service Hub. And this is your ticketing side where you can track your issues, all right, your problems. Okay, and again, they want you to add contacts. I'm really puzzled that keeps coming up because I have more than one contact in there. Okay, if you have various emails within your team, you can hook them all up to HubSpot. Again, set the tracking code, and then you put in a support form. Okay, so people can actually get in touch with you, add in live chat. HubSpot will support live chat for you. It has its own, as you can see down here in the bottom right corner, it has its own chat bot there. So people can actually interact with you when you've got somebody there ready to talk, which is very handy. And again, you set up the chat flow and away you go. All right, step by step, very easy to set up Operations Hub. And this is where you can set up a lot of your integrations, where you can have data syncing between just about any program you can think of, but in particular your email programs. And we'll get to that in a second. We'll have a look at the marketplace later, and I'll show you what's available. And again, not restricted to HubSpot. All the other CRMs have a ton of integrations because it's in their best interest to make their program the central point of everything you use. That's why they call it HubSpot. It's the hub of everything you do. Everything else talks to it. You can go into HubSpot and see what's going on across a wide swathe of your business. Okay, very, very handy. But anyway, let's start up the top. Let's have a run through and see what, again, your typical CRM has got for you. Okay, contacts. Now, I've got one or two in here. I've probably got a stack I should put in while I'm at it. What are we up to? There we are, 1900 and change. Okay, very standard layout. This is also customizable. You can change what fields you have here. I just picked these ones because that just works for me with these people. You can also set up, you can break those out into lists. Okay, and I'll show you why in a minute, why that's an important thing to do. In as much as you can then email individual lists within HubSpot. Okay, and you can have 6 lists in the free one. Come back to your contacts. You can also set up, if you like, companies within it. So you may have an enterprise arrangement. You may just want to deal with a company in general, and again, you can create them. Now, I haven't done that because I deal specifically with somebody at a company. And with what I do, sometimes the people move around. So I don't really want to have them tied to the company. I want to deal with the person I deal with. Okay. Now, the other thing you can do is you can record your calls through HubSpot. So you have one repository to go back and check on who said what to whom, when, where, why. Right now, again, user guide is there. Now, I don't use this here because all their Zoom meetings, all their calls are recorded elsewhere. Okay, and again, very, very simple. Okay, you can either put your hub phone number in there, or you can integrate with Zoom or a third-party calling provider. if you're doing any sort of outbound calls that you want to keep a tab on, that Zoom integration is very handy. Okay. And to be honest, that face-to-face, when we've got the technology we have now and the cost of calls is such that using Zoom is just a no-brainer, I would set up that integration. Okay. Now, going back to where we were again. Okay, conversations. You can hook your email up to here. So it will basically track everything from your inbox, and you can deal with everything in your inbox in here. You can also set up your live chat through here, as we were talking about earlier, or you can respond to your forms from here, and you can run Facebook Messenger through here. So again, you can have multiple platforms working in the background, but you can drive it all through your CRM. Now, again, building chat flows. Okay, you can set it's really how your customers experience or how your visitors experience your website and your Facebook page. Without going into a whole hour-long explanation of chatbots and what's good and what's bad, if that is a path you want to go down, your CRM will support you. Okay, but again, you need to put the tracking code so they know where to put the chat flow. Okay, no big deal, just follow your nose. Now, marketing side, this is the real reason that I got HubSpot in the first place, is that if we go through here, okay, you're setting up emails, driving them out of here, and you can see, okay, I've sent an email out, very pretty, little pretty blue fox at the top there, but I can see who opened it, who clicked through it, who replied. Now that in itself, you go, oh my goodness, nobody replied to your email. That's cool. I actually didn't want them to reply because the email was an opt-out. It was a case of, here's what we're going to do. We'd love to do this with you. If you don't want to participate, then let me know now and opt out. Okay. 5 people did that very easily by unsubscribing, because HubSpot does all of that for you, puts in the unsubscribe option. It's something you need to comply with. And again, the other CRMs do that. Okay. And it's got very cool bouncers. So I know not only which ones bounced, but I know why they bounced. So I can go back and talk to those people in an alternative way. Okay. Some people might have left their company. Some people may have simply changed their email address. They've got spam filters on there, and because it came from HubSpot, it pops up as spam and gets shoved off to the side. That's cool. We just reach out in a different way and touch base and make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, that alone is very handy in terms, especially when you're dealing with new business. Okay, you're trying to generate sales and generate leads, and you want to see who's engaged with what you have to say. This is brilliant. Okay, it gives you that feedback. Now, landing pages. This is very cool. Okay, now I don't know if you guys have got your website set up or where you're at in relation to that, but what HubSpot will do for you is help you build a landing page, which they host, as you'd expect. Okay, now, as you can see, if you want to run it on your own side of things, you're going to have to upgrade. Okay, which may or may not be of interest to you, but this is all very template driven, very easy. Let's have a look at one I was actually playing with a few hours ago. Okay, this is an example. They have 2 pages of templates, so that's approximately 50 templates in there. And I just grabbed one at random and had a muck around with a few minutes ago with one of the other advisors who was here. And very simple drag and drop, where you can set up where you want things to go. You can give things titles. That's where this one would have been hosted. Okay, on their side of things. So you need to take that into account if you're going to use this as part of a new campaign. Okay, just think about where it sets up. And again, a ton of information supplied to explain how or what you're putting in each box. It's set up for people who are not experts. Very helpful. Then you've got optimization, where you can, and again, it tells you what to do and when you want to publish it. Okay. Very handy, a very simple way of testing the market and seeing how much appetite there is for what it is that you're offering. Service side of things, hang on, sorry, got a bit carried away. Sales. We're talking about deals. Okay, we had a very quick look at that before. Again, nice and straightforward, Kanban board, just tracking where everything is up to. The other thing you do is task management, which is a similar process. And it will import tasks from your calendar for you. Okay, so again, you've got that one platform that enables you to look at a lot of things that are going on with all the other platforms you've got running in the background. Okay, and again, that sync is very straightforward. Now, look at service, again, tickets, same approach. You've got, put the tracking code obviously on your website, set up a form for people to get in touch with you, and then they'll simply feed in here and you'll know who's raised an issue or who wants to talk about something. Have you contacted them? Are they waiting for you to get back to them? And have they been closed off satisfactorily? Okay. It's not a hugely technical approach, but it's a very important part of business to get right. And you get a lot of support here with that. Now, free version, you get no automation. Okay. If you want that, you're going to have to pay for it. Okay. And reports, it will give you some analytics. It'll also give you some dashboards, as you would expect with a lot of software these days. You can customize one yourself, or you can simply pick a dashboard which brings up the things that you want to see straight away. Again, one platform you go to that gives you a lot of data on what's going on in your business right now across a lot of platforms. Now, that's actually kind of fun. That took 20 minutes to go through that. It takes approximately 30 minutes to get a lot of that set up. And I know that because I sat down with a client yesterday and sat down with another one about 2.5 weeks ago in the Gold Coast. And we went from going to HubSpot, creating the free account, to having contacts imported, having the sales process started to be setting up, having test emails sent, analytics checked, and tracking codes sent off to the web guys. That was all happening, all over, all said, all done in less than 30 minutes. They are that simple. So if you haven't set up a CRM for your business because you think they're too complicated, they're just hard to set up, there's too much going on, then with respect, I think you're wrong. Okay, I think you'll find that when you dive into them, that they aren't all of that. In fact, they are simple to use, and they give you an awful amount of control and information when you really need it about the things that you need information about. Now, other than that, see, that's the reason this is a 1 hour webinar workshopy thing, and generally we get it all done in about 35 minutes because CRMs aren't that complicated. Now, one thing I spoke about last week was the fact that we here at Business Station ran a 3-part webinar series on CRMs earlier this year, and we looked at Keap, we looked at Capsule, and we looked at Hubspot at a basic, intermediate, and advanced level. And to do that, I was actually privileged enough to moderate that, and it was our presenters were David Leticia, who is a Keap guru, Alicia Meckfeld from Perth, who knows Capsule like you wouldn't believe, and Dante St. James, our Darwin, one of our Darwin advisors, who uses HubSpot like I do, uses it all the time and has a pretty deep knowledge. So what we might do, now that I've got a few minutes, with your indulgence, let's see if we can find, no, that's not going to work very well. If you want to see those webinars, hang on, I've just got to think about where they are in the library. We've still got them recorded. They're still floating around. I will dig them up for people and I will pop the links up for those who want them. So if you want them at all, let me know. Let's just dive out of that for a second. Now, so Paul and Rod, so if there's something you want to chat about now, please fire up. Okay, make no mistake. This is an open forum. No question will go unanswered. And if you'd like to have a look at those webinars that give you an overview of the other two easy to use, nice, free and cheap CRMs, by all means, let me know. Now, if we look at something like Clickup, again, you saw right there, this is the approach that they've got. Well, they've got one app, one platform where you can have everything integrated and you can run very easily from there. So let's see. You can see in the background, it's really project management. Okay, it's about tracking where everything is up. And this is the other side of CRMs. Okay, so let's just see how easy it is to set up a free CRM. Cool. Okay. Oops. As you can see, I am not a secretary touch typist at all. Okay. Let's play with ClickUp. Oh, hang on. So okay. Where is my magic email? There we go. This is, like, how easy is this? Let's make it, there we go, that's pretty. Okay. Let's make it purple. Why not? Look, I actually work with a team of about 11 to 25. Let's just say other. Again, you can see my superb typing skills. They're running a roll. Don't want to do that just yet. And there we go. Now, so let's move that screen around so we'll see what's going on here. Okay. As you can see, you've got some customization with how you look at tasks within ClickApps. Okay. That's very cool because that way you can share online what's going on across the team. Very handy. Custom tags. Now, having said that, at Business Station, we use Asana, and there's reasons for that. But this would do exactly the same job. And with tags, we can actually make sure that an event we're going to is related to, if it's related to multiple projects, that we can show that in one spot without having to recreate the event several times. Okay, so that's fine. Moving on. Yes, I do. So this is obviously going to set up integrations with what I do now. You can see the different approach here between ClickUp and Hubspot. Okay, Hubspot wants you to set up all the basic structure. It'll let you pick and choose what sort of integrations you do. So if we do that, hang on just a second. Again, gives you the option. So it's actually doing a lot of the basic, everybody does it type stuff for you. Okay, don't feel like importing tasks. And here we go. It's like jumping on a roller coaster, isn't it? Again, a lot of help there built in for you. Makes life a lot nice and easy. Hang on, what's going on there? That's a very good question. So you missed all the fun. That's a shame. I honestly thought that was still sharing. I apologize for that. So let's just pop that away for a second. You missed all the setup fun. Okay, if you're listening, you would have seen me babbling and not seeing what I was doing, but that took, again, about 3 minutes to go from logging on for a new setup through to we're here ready to roll. So what if I don't want to watch the video, guys? There we go. Done. Oops, not really what I wanted to do. So it depends, I guess, on how you treat your tasks within your business. Okay. Do you just want to set up a very simple list? Are you running on a project management basis? Do you want to make that simplified? Do you simply want the typical Kanban board? Do you want a simple list of to-dos? A ton of templates to set up. Let's just pick a typical board. No, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that either. Okay. As you can see, very similar to the approach of HubSpot, where you can have tasks set up, which HubSpot had within that tasks list. And you simply type up what's going on, what has to be done, are there other subtasks, any files that have to be there, so you can share files across your group very easily. And you can share that obviously within your team. And you can assign it to anybody else in the team you've got in here who has to do the work. Now, the beauty of this is that you miss out on having 32 post-it notes on your desk telling you who's doing what, where, and when, and where you're up to with things. You've got it all in one spot. Again, with that overview. Now, if we drop out of that and just come back to the initial setup for Clickup, it gives you that overview of your calendar, where you're up to with work, what you've got to do today, what's overdue, what's coming up next, what is just floating there without any sort of schedule. You can add comments, and you've obviously got a list of everything that's been done. Notifications is the same. Now, one thing I saw that was interesting, oops, don't do that, come back. Okay. Was the fact that, again, you can set up dashboards. You can have access to documents that have been assigned to you or shared with you. Okay, and again, if you're running the business, you can have access to all the documents that are in here. And you can also customize, obviously, the settings so you know what you're looking at, and it'll look the way you want it to look. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be really weird again, guys. Does anybody have any questions you want to ask in general to the group, or just fire up and we can discuss online? Anything at all you want to run through in relation to these sort of project management systems or a CRM such as HubSpot? Okay, well, if we just for a sec, you should have my email address in your invitations here, but just in case you don't, come back to where we were right at the start. Okay, now there's my contact details, guys. Okay, so if you have questions later, if you set up something like HubSpot and you want some help on how to actually make it really work for you, or again, something along the lines of ClickUp and want to make it really work for you, fire me an email. If you want to have a look at, or you want me to send you a link to the webinars that we did earlier on the 3 CRMs, where there's a direct comparison between them, running 3 side by side, fire up, shoot me an email. I'm actually doing that from somebody from last week's webinar. they had a look through YouTube and couldn't find them. And actually, to be honest, I had a look the other night and I found them too. So I'll dig them up for you if you want, email you the links, and you can sit down and have a run through how the three of them interact differently and what you can use at the greater levels, at the higher levels where you're actually paying for them, what you can use those for. Now, in relation to paying for your CRMs, it is often noted that HubSpot can cost an absolute ton of money. Keap, nowhere near as expensive. Capsule, a bit cheaper again. Agile can cost money, etc. I'll just make this one observation about that, is that if your business is at the point where you need to start throwing some serious coin at Keap or HubSpot or Capsule or all their competitors, then it's not a question of those platforms costing you money. What it is a situation where you're investing in your business, because the automation that you get, the analytics that you get, the data that you get out of those systems, the ability they give you to effectively communicate with your customers is worth more than you're ever going to spend on the actual platform itself. The time that will save you with your sales team and with your support team is enormous if you're actually at the point where you've got to gear up and spend some serious coin. Okay, the effectiveness of what you do. Having said that, there's some workarounds. To give you an example, here at Business Station, we use HubSpot, which obviously for reasons I couldn't show you, but we also integrate that with MailChimp. Why, you ask? Well, here's the thing, is that with the amount of emails that we send out, if we use MailChimp as our email delivery service and simply get the analytics back into HubSpot, it costs us less. Okay, HubSpot, from a marketing point of view, once you start sending a lot of emails out, can cost you a fair bit of coin. There are workarounds because there are, as I pointed out before, a ton of integrations. Now, other than that, just leave that out of the way. So, other than that, I guess what we're talking about is a platform that has versatility, that gives you the ability to communicate and to measure the effectiveness of that communication with your client base and with your prospective client base, which is equally as important. It gives you the ability to track what's going on when people are visiting your websites. It gives you the ability to communicate with your clients about issues and to track how the resolution of those issues is progressing and when that's been resolved. It gives you the ability to create landing pages so you can test out the market in relation to new products or services that you're offering and have accurate data on how the market is interacting with you there. So other than that, one thing that they won't do for you, as much as I've asked, is they won't make you a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and it won't make you a sandwich. All right, you got to do that yourself. But a lot of the other stuff that you want in your business, that data flow, that ability to reach out to people, it's there and it's free. So I would suggest that if you don't have them now, have a look at your business and look at how you're going to integrate it, because the ability that you get from these is fundamentally pretty awesome. So having said that, that pretty much wraps us up for the day. Okay, I know it's short of an hour, but at this sort of level with these CRMs, it doesn't take an hour to run through how cool they are and what they can do for your business. Okay, so thank you very much for your attendance. I appreciate you coming along and having listened to what I had to say. And please avail yourself of the rest of our webinars, add some power to your business, and we'll see you later. Thank you.